I am coming at you from my couch today while I talk about my indie author income from May, even though June is almost over. I have just been really busy. Summer is an incredibly busy time for me, so I've been just fitting in what I can with the content creation, the marketing, the YouTube, TikTok, everything. And it just is what it is right now. But we can get into my May numbers. I go through these sales numbers, the royalties, and a little bit about what I've been doing for marketing, what I think is working, what I think isn't. And I will go through all of that in this video. If this is the first video of mine you're seeing, hi, thanks for being here. My name's Lindsey Elizabeth. I am a self-published indie author. I do pretty much everything myself. To give you a little bit more background info, I do have 4 books out right now. 3 are in an interconnected dark fantasy romance series, and the 4th one is actually a complete standalone, not really involved in that world, although there are some Easter eggs. And to be totally upfront, I usually see the most sales in book 1 of my series, and I expect to see a little bit more read-through rate when the 4th and final book comes out sometime this year. Okay, let's get into it. All 4 of my books are enrolled in Kindle Unlimited, so I get paid for orders of my books, whether it's like an ebook or a paperback or a hardcover, which I use Amazon's service called Kindle Direct Publishing to get those printed and shipped out. I don't actually have to touch any of the inventory. And then I also get paid per page read in Kindle Unlimited, and the rate does vary slightly month to month, but I will give you a little breakdown on the screen of how many page reads each book gets and like how many books that would equate to, but we don't get a lot of info, so I don't know if it's X many people reading 1 page of the book or if that many people read the whole book. I just know how many pages were read. So last month in May, I had a total of 8 orders, and 5 of them were for the first book in my series. I will link all of my books below as well if you do want to check them out. And then I had 1 order for each of the other books. So book 2 in the series, book 3 in the series, and for my standalone, which is a Hades and Persephone romance retelling. And as far as Kindle Unlimited page reads go, I had 28,160 page reads last month, which is pretty good for me. I've actually only had 1 other month this calendar year that was around 30,000. So I would say that that is a good month for page reads. And again, here is a little chart of how it broke down between each of the books, how many Kindle standard pages are in each of the books, which Amazon does that calculation, and then roughly like how many books that would be. That's all up here. Enjoy, feast your eyes. Okay, got a good look? I hope so. So last month with those orders and those page reads, I made $149.50. And overall, that income of about $150 is pretty good for me this year. Last year in May, it was actually my highest earning month ever. I've only been published since January of 2023, so we have kind of limited data to work off of. But last year in May, I think I made something like $400. So maybe May is like a kind of good month. I am not entirely sure, but it's been fairly good for me. And although $150 is nowhere close to like $400, it's a little bit better than I have been doing lately, which has been closer to $100. So I'm pretty happy with that. And if you didn't know, I do not rely off of this income. This is like a side hobby for me. I do work a 9-to-5 job, which is where the majority of my income comes from. And then I do have some other side hustle businesses that bring in a little bit of money as well. I just like talking about the transparency of it and kind of show what people could expect to make, how much effort it takes to actually market these books. I do all of my own marketing with organic social media. I don't pay for any ads right now. I do plan to in the future, especially when the 4th and final book of my series is completed and it's released. And that way I can market it as a completed series. I think it would do better that way rather than trying to get some readers and leaving them on a book 3 cliffhanger. But if you do want to know everything that I do to market my books right now, I do have a video here about everything I do and don't do to market. And then I do have another video that does a little bit of a deeper dive into social media marketing. So if you have any questions, you can let me know. If I've mentioned anything in here or do mention anything, you can always let me know if you want like a deeper dive on something. But now that can kind of bring us into what I did for marketing this month and what I think helped or didn't help. I guess by this month, I mean last month, so May. I do mostly market on TikTok. I do a lot of video marketing. And every once in a while, I cross-post those videos onto YouTube Shorts and onto Instagram Reels. From just my experience, I do think that TikTok converts better to sales. I just think that the people that, at least in my genre, in my ideal audience, the people that are on TikTok are more like ready to convert, ready to buy. Whereas I can post the same thing on Reels and on YouTube and get like a similar amount of views, but nobody really takes any action from that. So that is something that I always find a little interesting. And let me know in the comments if you guys have any experience like that, or if it's different elsewhere for you. Like I know some people that do better on Reels, and I don't know what the secret is. I think it might just depend on what platform you are most active on. I'm not like a total expert. I do work in digital marketing, but marketing is so personal to everybody and everyone gets very different results. What works for me might not work for you, but I do like to share my insights and what I do and don't do and just hopefully give you guys some ideas. Another point for marketing is that on TikTok, I have technically 3 accounts. So I have like my author account that's like my face. I do some videos like POVs. It's all the cringy, reacting to sounds and things. I have that one. And then I have a second one that is not tied to my face or name. And that is where I post like image carousel posts that honestly are doing pretty well. This has been a newer thing for me. And then I have like a personal account where I'm just like posting my dogs and my day and whatever. I will say that I am more consistent with my like main author page. That's the one I've been on since 2020-ish. I think I downloaded TikTok in 2020 and didn't start posting anything until 2022, which is like right before I launched the first book in my series. So it's been like a few years and I'm not super consistent lately with any of them. It's been on the back burner for me. When life gets in the way, I have no problem taking a step back. I try not to let myself feel guilty for not doing more because I really just don't want to burn myself out completely. So if I need a break, I take a break. And one thing that I will say for the Faceless account is I feel like it gets better views on average, like per post, than my regular account. And it gets a lot of saves to likes. Like if I get 100 likes, I'm usually getting 50 saves. Like it's like a half ratio. Whereas on my main account, it's not that good. So I do think that helped a little bit. I did a few posts that did like fairly well over there. And I think that helped boost views and boost readership a little bit. So that was nice. And I do think that is why I also started getting some more page reads on books 2 and 3 in my series. It is not nearly that much. Like maybe a couple people have read the next 2 books, which is a bummer because I think they're fabulous. It's an interconnected series. So like the first book in the series really sets up the main story. And then the second book kind of goes into backstory of one of the main characters' parents and what led up to like all of this, their kingdoms being at war and everything. And then the third book like wraps it all together and brings all of these characters together. It is literally like an Avengers team up. So, I mean, I think these books are good, but obviously they're not everyone's cup of tea, which is fine. But that was really exciting to see that those books got a little bit of extra love because I posted some posts specifically about those 2 books. Also, not quite as social media related, but I do have an email list. I have a newsletter where I just have an automated email go out when somebody subscribes. And then after that, I just kind of email very sporadically, usually when there's a release coming up. So I've probably only sent like 10 emails. I'm going to be totally honest. I am not like spamming people's inboxes. They probably see an email from me and they're like, wait, who is this? Which is also not great. But last month in May, I got 59 new email subscribers. And I'm a big proponent of getting email subscribers, even if you don't do much with it like me, because if like TikTok goes away, because that's been on the board a few times, or if something happens, something glitches, I don't know. If you have an email list where people can give you their email, their name and email, and something happens to your social media sites, you can still contact them. And these are usually the people that are going to be more inclined to buy your books. They're going to be the people that took that extra step to say, I like this book. Oh, she has an email link at the end of her book. I should subscribe. And now I have like 59 new email subscribers for literally just having a link at the back of my book in the back matter saying, if you enjoyed this and you want updates on new releases and if I do any events or giveaways or anything, like give me a subscribe. And they do. It's amazing. But now I have 59 more people that might be like, yeah, I want to read these other books when the 4th one comes out so I can binge them. Like that's the goal. Really big tip is do what works for you. Take breaks if you need to and get an email list going if you don't already have one. I feel like I was blabbering a lot in this video. I didn't have it hugely scripted out. I do have some notes here and my Amazon Kindle Direct dashboard, but that's what I got. This is what happens when I don't record anything for a while. And also when I'm out of my my little setup. I don't really have a filming spot right now, so you kind of get what you get. Sorry. So this is May's income. I do plan on recording June's income, hopefully earlier in the month. And I hope you guys have just the best day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.